was up with Zoom there.
Yeah.
When I went to join it, it was just like, you are now joining a meeting, and then like spinning.
Forever. Yes. And I was like, has the internet stopped finally?
The internet's done. The internet, it's over.
It's like, I've had enough of this, right? I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. That's what the internet was saying.
But yeah, I want to look into, because I know I set a recurring meeting in Zoom for this.
Yep.
But with Zoom, you can't set a meeting indefinitely. You can only kind of set it recurring for like up to a month. So I was wondering if I might actually be getting towards the end of that month, and so I might need to look into set a new recurring meeting.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
But I was in Zoom trying to figure that out, and it's not super intuitive.
No. How is the virtual workathon you're in the middle of right now?
Virtual workathon is good. This is my third one? Fourth one.
Whoa.
Fourth workathon.
Yeah. Those ones are so good. I love working with Elon and Blake.
Yeah, they're very good at being fun.
Yeah. I find it very good at setting a container for the flow of getting you into flow. That's what I like about it.
A container of flow for flow?
Yeah.
A flowing container of flowing for flow?
Yep. I'm curious what we're going to do today. I don't think we've really discussed this.
We did. We had a decision yesterday. We were going to talk about reviews. And
okay.
One thing we can talk about, so Maggie put together that great blog post on asking for reviews.
Yep.
And so I think we could talk about how to ask for reviews, where to ask for reviews, are bad reviews really bad reviews. I thought talking about LinkedIn is cool too, because LinkedIn offers a different angle on the review, where instead of getting a business review, you could ask for like personal team member reviews.
Yep. I like it. So you've got the structure.
Got some structure. And if we run out of things to say, I also did a search on Alignable, and there's a lot of different discussions on reviews. So there's lots that we can get into on there too.
Sweet. Okay.
One of the questions was, how do you get hundreds of reviews on Amazon?
There is a play with that, and yeah, we can get into that, and then I can let people know how you can relate that to your business reviews. And that actually goes into the discussion we're having on what was the term? Piddly companies, small potatoes, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Piddly companies.
Yeah, there's at least in the agency world, and I think this is with every service provider, there is a feeling of, I don't want to work with the piddly companies or something else like that. And I think a lot of people misunderstand the ecosystem and feel everything needs to have, it's not treated the same. Like people feel that they need that they feel like they need to service everything in the same way, and they don't understand ecosystem. At least not. Where are we at? Oh, we're like 17 seconds. We're gonna go live like any second now. Alrighty, this is gonna be fun. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Everything needs to have. Okay. Let's dismiss that. Throw that away. Get the music going.
You've tuned in to COVID Marketing with Brent Kobayashi and Arthur Tutt. The show to support small business, not just to survive, but to thrive.
That is right. We are live with COVID Marketing episode number 39. Yes, that is indeed true, Mr. Blackmore. This is the show to support small biz, not just to survive, but to thrive, week daily at 11 Eastern Standard Time. If you have questions on marketing, business or, well, whatever, let us know in the comments wherever you find folk are seeing this, because that's the kind of stuff we get into. I am Brent Kobayashi, president of Kobayashi Zeitgeist, a marketing agency here in Toronto, Canada. And with me is Mr. Arthur Tutt, marketing specialist at the same Kobayashi Zeitgeist. Hello, Arthur.
I gotta say, Brent, that beat really wakes me up.
Isn't it so good? Oh man, that was like such a gift. Like that was like one of those ones where it's like, really, this is what we get? And I was just blown away. Somebody actually, David, not somebody, but specifically David, actually pulled that together for us. The guy's fantastic. I really want him to be creating and doing more. So every time I play that, something in my head says, yes, okay, we got it. Come on. More, I want more. Okay. People have to be out in this world, like show up. Like this is such an amazing thing. Every time we get to see a person, it is a gift from heaven. And that's what happens when we do that sort of thing, when we actually show up. And like when I shout, live with COVID marketing, I'm like, I am giving you a gift from heaven, everybody. That's it.
We got some big shout outs here from Richard here saying loves the intro, loves the energy.
Fantastic. So we're gonna have love this blog for an idea for okay, we're getting topics. That's fantastic, Richard. Okay, good stuff. So we have something very specific we're going into today. I love the idea we're gonna have. Don't you feel like we're actually growing up? Like Maggie, who was on last Friday, put together like this whole plan for us. It is so good.
Strategy.
Like strategy and yeah, I'm really happy here.
We got the strategy, we got the intro beats.
Nothing can stop us. Like literally, I'm saying nothing's going to be able to stop us. Not even our little boomer millennial hate mail. Just going to refer to that again because I love it so much. Okay, let's get into it. Come on.
So we're talking about reviews here, how to get reviews, where to get reviews, why reviews are important. Specifically, we're talking about online reviews. We can take this in a number of different directions, but I think first of all, Brent, why do we answer the question, why are online reviews important?
Okay, so online reviews. So everybody has always said, get testimonials, get reasons to believe your marketing messages. Remember, marketing is just a promise. And then how do I believe that promise? Everybody kind of knows this in the back of their head that, marketing is just a promise. Is it really going to be the way I want? And every now and then we get burned and then it really becomes reinforced, right? So the idea with reviews is to take away, is to solve the problem of the testimonial on the website, right? The testimonial on the website says you guys are great, but anybody can write that. So a review is saying we want, and you've used this term before, Arthur, social proof. A real person has given this testimonial and it's actually connected to that real person. So something in Google My Business, like a Google review or a Yelp review and all that kind of stuff. One of the things that Yelp and all that type Google do is try to make sure that those reviews are as legit as possible. Of course, once you get into this stuff, everybody's like, oh, great. If I have like a lot of 5-star reviews, I get more business, at least for a while. So therefore, some people start doing the 5-star review game, which is, I'm just going to buy a bunch of 5-star reviews. That happens. There's right. And then all of a sudden people start questioning it. So then it's like almost like a Cold War, right? Going on with these companies where, and it goes in so many different directions. There's the Cold War of people trying to get fake reviews and only encourage the nice reviews as one way of doing it. And then the systems say, you know what? People are starting to trust our review platform a little bit less, which means we need to be a little bit more stringent and try to suss out what are the fake reviews, what are the ones that don't look quite true or look like, this company feels like they're playing a game or something like that, and only asking their happy customers to give reviews, that sort of thing. So there's all different ways that this cold war, and the interesting part of this is, and then maybe a competitor is going to start leaving negative reviews so that, they can, this is a really interesting game here. But ultimately, the reason why reviews are a super good game, if you want to go straight from the top level of it, is because it provides the world some level of social proof separate from yourself, saying you're good for this thing that you're selling. Now, I would actually go one step further, and this is where companies that really have a process around continuously improving themselves, they go for customer feedback, and they'll do a customer feedback round so they can say, where are we having a gap? Let's get some customer feedback so we can improve what we're doing. I'd go so far even to say use reviews for that. Like literally just, if somebody's asked them, can you give me a review? It's okay, whatever your thoughts are. Because once they've articulated it publicly, then your company actually has a little bit of energy to address any challenges that a person has voiced. Mm-hmm. And my personal belief is that's a good thing. Many people will be like, what? A 2-star, a 3-star, a 1-star review is a good thing? I'd actually say, yeah. If it's true, it's a good thing. You want to know. Because we're just getting right into the bad review thing. Literally, we're going to be sending out an email blast to our clients, and the title of it is going to be, unless anybody can convince me differently, give us a bad review, please. And we're going to go into this because I actually want that feedback. Now I know that we do a pretty decent job, so we're going to get a mix. But and part of saying it that way is to sort of shock people into, okay, what? You guys run a bad review? And pay attention to the email. So it's a little bit of a marketing strategy scheme, whatever you want to call it. But I actually want the bad review. I actually want publicly somebody to say, this is what didn't work for me, because then it's the beginning of a story of making it good for that client. And I actually believe there's nothing better in the world for a client relation, long-term, maybe even short-term, to say, thank you very much for the feedback. This is how I'm going to make it good for you. Here you go. Does that fit for you? And then the person sitting there going, oh, okay, so they're human. It didn't quite go the way they wanted, the way I wanted. And I gave them feedback and they addressed it. And I'm literally sitting here going, I don't care if it's like, yeah, but you did this and you did this and you did this. It's one of those ones you just like take it, address the things that the person's bringing up. If there's stuff they're bringing up and you're like, that's the way we're going to do it, and it doesn't fit for you, just say, sorry, that's the way we're going to do it. Maybe you offer a refund. Maybe there is value that was given and say, we're just going to disagree on this one. And sorry, we weren't a fit. What we will do is figure out how to make sure we understand that we're not a fit in the future faster. So that, your time's not wasted, our time's not wasted, and we're that type of thing. So whatever it is, get into that conversation. That's actually what a review does. It's actually is part of a conversation you're having with your customer base. And it's not always going to be, roses and unicorn farts.
Great analogy. So I think you kind of touched on this, but I think what's the problem with having a website or an Amazon page or whatever it might be, an e-commerce store? What's the problem with having just straight like 103 5-star positive reviews and no bad reviews?
Because everybody...
isn't that perfect? Everybody thinks you're amazing.
Yeah. So Richard in the comments said this perfectly, and it's absolutely true. If you have nothing but good reviews, and there's enough of them, if you have 5-star reviews, like, okay, a few people have reviewed them, those 5 stars might be really, really cool. But if you have nothing but good reviews, it's like, that's not a human sampling at all. Because some people just won't give a 5-star unless you ridiculously blow them away, like a 5 out of 5. They'll give a 4-star if your service is fantastic for them. So when you have all of that ridiculously good, it basically delegitimizes the entire system. Also,
Because people lose trust.
Yeah, you lose trust in the entire system. Like, okay, this guy just played the game. Got a bunch of 5-star reviews. It might work for some and it's not going to work for others. But people who are really wanting to know, should I buy this thing? You need to see the mix. In fact, I noticed in an ad I got recently for some nail clipper things for dogs, when you go into it, they actually show the reviews, and it's got that mix of, 98, 95% 5-star, a bunch 4-star, and then it curves down a few 3 stars, and then a couple 1 or 2 stars. And there's this curve, and I actually know that they're doing this for marketing purposes because they're smart marketers, that they actually want the curve. Now, it might be legit. And so people will dig into the reviews and say, why did the person choose 1 star? What was the situation there? What really was going on here? The people that were doing the larger star reviews, what was their context? Does it feel like a real person? In some cases with Google and Yelp and all that stuff, they actually put, this person is like a mega reviewer. They've done 55 reviews, right? And they're valuable reviews, right? People actually find them valuable. So you've got all of this ebbs and pulls that go back and forth. So yeah, if it's all just 5 by 5, then it's like, okay, it's another one of those games. How do I actually figure out if this is true or not?
And especially too, when the 5-star reviews just seem very impersonal. Like sometimes you'll just see like great service or wonderful staff, right? Versus if somebody goes in and they're like, I went to buy some paint, and the person behind the counter, they were really informative. They helped me to choose the right color of paint here. They let me test it out and try a sample. One didn't quite work out. He happily gave me a refund and blah, blah, blah. And like
all
detail like that, when somebody reads that, it's like, whoa.
Yep. So that's where that's where being patient with your reviews, go for the ask for sure. I actually think now's the time to go for the ask for your clients, your customer base, your community, and say, I could really use your feedback online in reviews, because this will really help me long term. People use it to decide if they're going to go here or somewhere else. It's going to allow us to do any improvements that we want to plan for, and then it actually puts you top of mind, right? So basically what I'm saying is, and this is why we want to send out an email blast shortly, is we want to be top of mind, and this will help us in the future, and this will help us be a strong company. So if you've enjoyed working with us, or think, we should still exist in this world, then please give us a review. I could really use it right now, because it would help with my marketing.
So I got a real practical question here. Okay, so we know that reviews are great. The question then is, okay, how to go about asking for reviews. And I'm just going to lay out a couple of options here, and then I'd love to hear your thoughts, right?
Okay.
So one option is, let's say you've got like a brick and mortar store, right? I know some people, by the cash register, there'll be a little sign saying like, hey, if you loved it, please leave a review. That's one way. Another way would be, right after a sale in person, just to ask somebody, hey, if you love this, would you mind leaving us a review?
Yep.
Another way is through email. So once you have people's email, you can ask them, hey, here's a link to Google. Can you leave us a review?
Yeah. If you own a brick and mortar store, you want a client list. Everybody thinks that a brick and mortar store is some sort of destination spot. And I get it. Where you are going to be and your, the street traffic, right? The walk-by score, or whatever it is that you're measuring it, is very important for you, right? But if you have a direct lane to your customers, I would say every brick and mortar store, if you haven't been doing this, when you reopen again, you sit down and you start saying, listen, we're going to offer you the best deals ever. I want you on my VIP club, and can I have your email address and your phone for text? Right? We might not be able to do text yet, but emails is super easy. Text requires a little bit more setup. And I am going to, and literally give them amazing things. First thing is free ice cream cone, come on in. And by that exchange of things, then now you have the ability to say every now and then with your, as you send out the free ice cream cone or whatever it is that you're doing, hey, can you leave us a review? It would really help out. Like if you had that list now, anybody who has the list now, use it. Do that. It could really help us out now because we want to reopen strong. Thank you very much for being a patron in the past. But if you've got that list, convert it into not 10% off coupons and other things like that. They're just kind of schlocky, like literally give it away. And when you give it away, it's more likely to actually say, wow, okay, those guys care for us. And every now and then just literally blow them out of the water. Right? Free haircut. Come on in to the first 50 people, like not even one out of 100, like not a giveaway for a free cut, like literally come on in. We care for you. We want you. You get a free haircut. Maybe you can have an action like, tell us why you love us or whatever, but I wouldn't connect it to the review. In fact, Yelp really strongly, I think they actually have policies in place where they're like, if you connect an actual review to a product giveaway, we're not going to be happy with you.
Yeah, that was actually something else I wanted to touch on as well. Policies.
Yeah, just look into the review platforms and figure out the policies. Google it. What's the policy for Yelp? I don't know. I'm off the top of my head.
Okay. But just going back quickly to, what are the ways to ask for reviews? We touched on the first three. Email is great. And the last one you touched on as well is text message, but that might be a little bit more advanced here. So just on that, what's the best way to ask for a review? Is it in person? Is it a sign? Is it an email? Is it a text? How do you do it?
So a sign is going to be pretty damn passive. I love the idea of saying, as people are leaving, hey, it'd be wonderful if you could leave us a review. I would encourage you to not try to suss out just the ones that are happy versus the ones that are sad or whatever it is. But just make that as part of the thing. If you're a brick and mortar store, I would actually have a plaque or a card or a postcard or something else like this that says, hey, thank you so much. Leave us a review and have the details on there and how they actually do that. Right now, I would actually even go for advertising, especially if you're a local store. Just advertise in your local area. Hey, we've been in this local area. We could really use a review. Here's a link to give a review, and just say, and actually do a video. Hi, I'm the owner of this. I'm the manager of this. I'm one of the staff of I do the social media of this store, this coffee shop, whatever it happens to be. We could really use a review, especially if you're geolocated type brick and mortar. Richard was saying, he falls down on after launching a website that they build. So Richard Godet is a fantastic web company. He after lunch going out and asking for feedback. I actually have a post-launch checklist where I actually want to sit down. Oh, geez. You know what that means?
Time?
Yeah. Do you need to go back into the virtual workathon?
Yes, I do.
You do. Okay. So let's finish this off super quick. So I actually go back and I have a whole, it's a bigger project. So this is for a more service-based industry. Actually, you can leave, man. Can you leave and I can be the host or something like that?
I mean, we could find out. We do like experimenting, right?
Yes, we do. Okay.
This might break the internet.
This might be the end. So everybody, thank you very much for joining COVID Marketing episode 39. We might be cutting off right now, or we might not be. So you leave. I'm going to go solo.
You're the host
now. Jeez, I'm going to freak out now. Okay. I don't know if I can do this without you, Arthur. Okay, he's gone. I'm still live. Holy cow, I'm still live. Jeez, very different energy when I'm live on my own. Okay. Okay. So, what I do when I do the outreach after is I get into really want to know what went well, what were our gaps, all that type of stuff. So and usually I get a bunch of stuff that I can take back to the team. I also get a bunch of stuff that I can actually go back to that client and say, hey, listen, could you leave this feedback that you gave us online and give the links to that person? because it would really help us out. The other thing that I do, which people don't always take us up on this, in fact, not very often, but I still do it because I think it's the right thing, not just the right thing to do, it's the right thing from a business perspective, but it's also a right thing from a culture perspective, is I ask the client if there was a team member that you'd really impressed you. Can you connect with them on LinkedIn and leave a recommendation on their LinkedIn profile? It'd be really great for their careers. That's the pitch I give to the client. And then I link into all of the team members. I say who they are. This is the developer. This is the designer. This is the content marketer. This is whatever it is that worked on their team. And in the review email that we're going to be sending out shortly, I actually, because it's going as a blast to everybody, I actually link to our current team, and then I link to past team members so that, you know, it'd be fantastic if they could also get a recommendation on LinkedIn as well. I do that for two reasons. One is, of course, it's great for anybody to get some positive feedback. Richard, you mentioned it's like getting a hug for doing a good job. Like, it actually is like getting a hug for doing a good job. And when it becomes, it's one thing for me to say, hey guys, Sally said you guys did an awesome job, and this is what she said. She was really impressed with this. It's another thing for them to get it written, public, like it just has a different feel for it. So it's like a big, big hug. It's like almost like a group hug. The next thing that that really, really does well is, especially on a service-based industry where you are a service-based company, where you are essentially selling the quality of your team. There's nothing like having your team members have this social proof that you're a really rocking company. You've got a rocking team. They are awesome. And people have gone out of their way to say that specifically about your team. So many people don't even think that that's important. They give bio, like sometimes in our pitch deck, we give a bio of the team members and years of experience and a little bit what they can do. But I'm sorry, just saying, you know, having a quote from a customer about a specific team member goes a long way for the person that's buying to say, wow, okay, geez, I think I trust you a little bit more. It feels a little bit more real, especially when it's a LinkedIn recommendation, because those things are usually things where people are like, wow, I really liked connecting with that person and they did a good job for me. So I really, 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 really like that particular tactic. So for us, it turns into a brand statement, right? The brand is what people think of you. Getting recommendations for your team member basically is saying, this is what people think of us. And it turns into your marketing messaging or part of your pitch deck or your PowerPoint that you give to clients or whatever it is that allows you to make that sale or support making that sale and truly articulate how wonderful you are. The other thing that it does is, once again, it continues that conversation with the client, and it actually solidifies in that client's head what they actually think. Because quite often, especially in longer term projects, by the end of the project, the client has moved on. At the beginning of the project, the client's like, I need this thing, and I'm excited to do this thing. At the end of the project, quite often, there might be a little bit of, yay, we launched, but quite often their client is moving on to the next thing that they need to solve in their business. And when you bring it back to the review, it allows them to solidify in their head that, yeah, I would recommend them. I actually enjoyed that part. I didn't enjoy that so much, this part, but boy, when I talked with Brent or Richard, I got to voice it, and now I kind of understand it a little bit more contextually, because in bigger projects, usually there's a lot of context to any challenges. And so, yeah, it continues that conversation. And I think we're going to end here now. All right. So, okay, I got to do the ending thing, the end. We've done the goodbye. Now I'm going to do the end. And here we go. Okay, we're doing this. All right. And this is the end.
You've tuned in to COVID Marketing with Brent Kobayashi and Arthur Tutt. The show to support small business not just to survive, but to thrive.
That's right, everybody. We want you thriving. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again on the next episode, which will be tomorrow, episode number 40. It's not a big episode because it's not a prime number episode, but that's okay. It's still going to be an awesome episode. Take care. Love you. That's the end. Cut it. And I'm not going to just sit here chatting with myself about what we're going to do tomorrow. So I'm going to end now. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining. Bye-bye, everybody.